Hello. Welcome back to the Mompreneur Life podcast. And if you are new here, okay, hey girl, hey. And if you are not new here, welcome back, all right? So, today's episode, we are discussing something that I normally don't like to talk about too much. I had to come in grips with it. And I feel like many people out there are just like me. And so I was like, you know what? It is time for me to discuss how me being inconsistent has truly cost me money. Okay? So if you have been inconsistent and you have struggled with being consistent with anything you're in, think about if it has cost you money. Okay, so I'm going to break down how it has cost me money, all right, and how I plan to change that. So before I get into that, as you all know, I love to discuss a mom win. And of course, today's mom win is not based off of today, but I really am proud of my doggone self, okay? Pretty much, all right? I was able to wake up before the kids and have some me time. Since we've been home for summer break, it's been a little hard, right? So for some reason, they can sense me being up, and everyone wants to wake up when I wake up. So I really haven't had any alone time. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I really feel like you cannot be effective if you're pouring from an empty cup. If you have nothing left in the tank, if you have nothing left in you, you cannot pour into the kids. You can't pour into everything else. So, of course, when it comes to a mom win, I have to hit you with my mom struggle because everything is not roses over here. So my mom struggle, overextending myself. I really feel like I've overextended myself. So then what happened with all of that was I gave up, right? I just kind of dropped everything. I was like, you know what? I'm doing too much. I planned too much for the summer, and I should have used this time to relax as much as possible. Opposed to that, I decided, we're going to try to do a lot of, activities and this and the third, opposed to just sitting down with the kids and saying, look, we're just going to chill. I'm always going, and I don't ever have time to relax. So I struggled with that because I just gave up and it just took too much out of me. But hey, all right. So let's honestly get into me being inconsistent, all right? If you're inconsistent with anything, homegirl, just know you are not alone, right? You ever not see the results you wanted, right, out of something that you wanted to do, right? Let's say, for instance, you want to start a podcast or a YouTube channel and you're not seeing the results. So guess what? You give up, right? And then a few years later, you look back and wonder how your life would have been if you continued, or what you would be doing now if you decided to continue, or how far along you would have been if you continued. So that has happened with me when it comes to my YouTube channel. I don't even know where to really start with this. My YouTube channel has been a emotional roller coaster because when I have time, I devote all of me into the channel. I also see how YouTube has changed people's lives. They made them into course creators. It has brought them a lot of money. It has brought them, great brand deals. And with me, I give up. I wasn't getting the views I wanted. I wasn't getting everything I wanted from it, so I give up. I watched all of the videos on how to grow a channel, things to do, and I have incorporated that into my channel, but I wasn't seeing the results. And I feel like if I would have stuck with my YouTube channel and stopped giving up, I would have been further along. Yes, I have a nice amount of subscribers to the channel, but I don't get the amount of views that I truly want from the channel. So I put a lot into my videos, right? I record, I edit, I do all of the things, but I'm not seeing the results I truly want. So what happens? I give up, right? Same thing with my social media, but with social media, if you're not keeping up with what they want you to do, it's over for you. And Reels, when it comes to Reels, it kicks my behind. It is what it is. I don't know what it is, but Reels kick my behind, and I just be over it. But I feel like with YouTube, it's different. I see what YouTube can honestly do And that's what I want, right? I want to become, a content creator, but not for social media. I'm not getting the responses that I want. So what happens? I give up, and that just be it. Because like with my YouTube journey, I'm gonna go back all the way, okay? When I first started YouTube, it was kind of like fashion focused because that's what everybody else was doing, right? It was fashion focused. Then, mind you, as you can see me now, or if you cannot see me now, you're on the podcast, you would know I mostly wear black t-shirts. That is me. Nothing about me says fashion. I really don't wear bright colors. Like I wear mostly black, gray. If I do wear a bright color, it's really rare, right? I'll wear blue. That's just me. I'm just a muted girl type color wearing. That's just me. I just don't wear, bright colors much. Then I changed it over to makeup and hair focus. If you don't know, I have a very low haircut. My natural hair is very low. Yes, I do wear wigs, and at times I pretty much wear the same wig. If they're the same wig, all my wigs look the same. I always wear a bob. It is what it is. Most of the time I do have other wigs, but yeah. Makeup. My makeup is so plain, people sometimes don't even know I'm wearing makeup. So yet, those 3 focuses alone, didn't work because that's not me. I was going off of what other people were doing. So of course I took a break. Then guess what? I let people into my lives and I started discussing budgeting because, at that time I was budgeting for my house. So budget for my first house. So I was budgeting and, I was doing videos on budgeting. Like my sinking funds, my cash envelopes, so forth and so on. That was okay. It was okay. And then I gave up. Then I made it teacher focused. Tips for fellow new teachers, things like that. Mind you, yes, I'm a teacher, but I don't like talking about teaching too much. I'm a business teacher. It's not like, I have the bright, cute elementary school classrooms that people are searching for. I'm a business teacher. So what does that mean? My classrooms are pretty boring. Well, like the decorations in my classroom, I'm teaching high school students. They don't care about all of that. My classroom is pretty boring. The look of it, So I kind of got away from that and I took a break. So then I started DIYing, okay? So I got seeing what's going on here. I'm picking up things that I see others are doing. Like I said, I picked up DIY, so I was recording things I was doing in my new house, right? Like my before my new house. Like I did a pegboard, my crafting table when I had it, things like that. Then I got into how I was able to purchase my home. So the way I was able to purchase my home was fairly unique. I didn't really have much of a down payment. I was able to build my credit before I purchased the home. I bought kind of like a fixer-upper and things like that. So yeah, that was cool. But that wasn't like, after a while I got tired of talking about that. So guess what? I gave up. Then I got into productivity and mindset. I love productivity and I love mindset. That's just what I love to talk about. Do it get views much on YouTube? No. That's the issue. Don't get much views on it. So I left it alone and I decided to create a music channel where I would play like focused music and I'll have like images on the screen. If you ever saw those videos, I watch them all the time. So I said, hey, they get a lot of views. I'm gonna create one myself. That was terrible. Yeah, it didn't work out well. So I gave up. So now I am back to productivity and mindsets and YouTube tips and things like that. But I'm thinking like, okay, if I was to stick with, some of this stuff from when I was originally doing it, how far along I would be? How much, subscribers would I have by now? Would I have broken to the 10,000 subscriber mark by now? I don't know. So when I'm looking at things like that, I know many of us, we do what we see other people are doing, and we're doing what was working for others, but then when we do it, it doesn't work for us and we give up. So that is pretty much what has been happening to me. I'm trying to figure out, okay, like how far along I would have been by now if I didn't give up and change my mind so many times. So ask yourself that. Where would you be if you didn't give up on whatever it is you wanted to do? how far along would you have been by now? I feel like with me, I would have came a long way. I would have, been a little further along, opposed to me always giving up. It's not working right now. I'm wasting my time. I don't have time to waste. I'm done with it. So now I am sticking with what I'm going on with now when it comes to YouTube, and I'm gonna see how it goes. You know what I mean? If I have to pivot, I'm going to pivot, but I'm not going to give up during that pivot. Because at times when we're pivoting, we just give up completely, and then we have a big gap. And we might pick up something new, we might not. It's just kind of how it goes. And at times we see everyone's talking about being on YouTube, but then we get on it and it's not what we thought it was going to be. And I think like the biggest thing when it comes to like YouTube or even a podcast or anything like that, we always wonder, is it too late? I started YouTube years ago, and when I started, I thought then it was too late. So my suggestion to you is, it is not too late. Just start. I know you probably hear that all the time, but I'm looking back at my YouTube journey. I have truly been on YouTube for a very long time. Even though I'm not where I want to be, I have honestly been on YouTube for quite a few years. I've been more consistent with YouTube than in social media. I've been more consistent with YouTube than my blog. I always come back to YouTube because I know the power of it. I know what it can do for me as well as others, right? So yeah, that's my little rant when it comes to YouTube. I'm not saying YouTube is your thing or YouTube is, whatever it is, but it could be anything. So if you decided to start a business but you gave up, you know what I mean, try sticking it out. If you're not seeing the results from it, it's okay. Because there were so many people that had businesses before the pandemic. And then the pandemic happened, which gave them more time to promote more. And once they started promoting more because they had more time, their business took off. So they didn't give up, you know what I mean? They kind of just went harder during the pandemic, but they've been doing whatever their business is way before. So if they would have given up, you know what I mean, they may have had to start over or whatever the case is. So my suggestion to you is try to stick it out. You might not see the results that you want right now, but if you stick it out, you just never know what could happen, right? So for me, I'm sticking out with this YouTube thing because you just never know what it can do. Because when it comes to YouTube, to be honest, it has already opened doors for me and I don't really think about it. So like my video editing services that I offer. If I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't know how to edit videos and I wouldn't have had clients. You get what I'm saying? So the thing is, when it comes to YouTube, my plan is to stick with it. Just stick with it. Something might take off and it just have like a ripple effect. So by sticking it out, you just never know. And when it comes to YouTube, their algorithm like consistency. Even with social media, Instagram, it like consistency. It likes that you're always posting, right? So if social media is your thing, continue posting. You might not get the views you want. You might not, get what you want right now, but something might take off for you and it kind of just had like a ripple effect. You just kind of just keep going with it. And also what I've realized is I was trying to be like so many other YouTubers. That's why it wasn't working for me. Like, first of all, fashion is not my thing. I wear black t-shirts. Makeup and hair is not my thing. I have a short haircut and people barely know I wear makeup. Okay? Budget focus. I budget, but after a while, I got tired of talking about the same thing. Teacher focus. I'm not really one of those elementary school teachers. Like, me teaching is totally different, than the average elementary school teacher. So all of these things that I thought would help my child take off didn't, because it wasn't me. It just was not me. But anyway, that is how me being inconsistent has honestly cost me money. So of course, before I move on, I want to discuss the book I'm currently reading, which is the Viola Davis Finding Me book, and I can honestly say this is a really good book. So if you're looking for a book to read, try the Viola Davis Finding Me book, okay? So of course, make sure you enjoy your week and live the life you dream, you mompreneur you. And I will catch you next week. Bye.